There is so much beauty and healing and self-compassion. You just have to allow yourself the space to connect with others and the vulnerability to heal and safe spaces. So yeah, that's the lesson I'm learning and continue to practice. I hope it helps you too. My name is Jahsalyn, and I am a painter, an artist, and I specialize in oil paintings. I used to sketch a lot. I was very excited to, have a real art pad. I found one in my grandma's basement. And my mom has always done crafts with us and painting things all growing up. So it was just something I really enjoyed. And then maybe it was my lack of patience, but painting is a little faster than charcoal or sketching, and I just enjoy the medium and the way it blends too. Most of my paintings are based on my experiences. So it's just like a natural, organic fruition of ideas.
Have you ever done art that was inspired by a certain emotional event, and throughout making the art, you realized a different point of view, or got a new way to look at it?
That is such a good question. Because that's so true for me. Most of the time when I was painting, I didn't have any idea. I just oh, it's a cool idea. And then throughout the painting, or sometimes weeks after, I look at it and I can conceptualize what exactly I was trying to portray. So yes, all the time in fact. I've been doing a lot of inner child work and healing, and this is representing my happy adult self, my real self, and that's the wounded child. How would I describe my childhood? I would describe my childhood as hard, a little rough. Definitely, I felt stuck, and I didn't really have control over my, safety or autonomy. So there was definitely some hardship there with my relation to my father, and definitely it could be dangerous or violent or abusive for sure. The unsafe part was having a parent who was abusive and didn't regulate their own emotions, felt entitled to yours and your body, your mind. I didn't really have a connection with my father. It was just very much danger and avoidance, tiptoeing around a man. I just don't understand. And I still to this day, I just remember being a child and thinking why would you choose this? Why would you choose? Obviously not in this intellect or these words, but I always wondered why he would choose to be mean and grouchy and abusive, and when there's so much beauty in life. And I have a wonderful mom and who's very empathetic, so I still don't understand how you could choose to stay stuck versus offering yourself the abundance the world has to offer,
Has your father reached out to apologize or make amends for any of the childhood trauma?
My father doesn't reach out. He feels like it's our responsibility to. I think from time to time he'll send those 3-word messages how are you, or happy birthday, but eventually all of that stopped. So I finally feel the joy of creation, not the trauma or the sadness or, getting something out, but just expressing freely, it should be a joyful process, and it wasn't always that for me. It gave me joy, but it was more of like reflecting and processing trauma. This is just pure joy, like the happiness and the sadness and life, and just.
What are some hardships that you've overcome that you're really proud of?
Back in last October, I had an abortion and I felt re-traumatized. I spent, you know, a lot of my time alone and isolated, and just very lost. Like, people don't really, or not people, I just didn't know the depth of how I would feel. I didn't handle or cope with that very well. I lost my job and my sense of self all in one, and my connection to my body. I was very disassociated. The reason I started therapy was from, you know, my experience with my abortion and the postpartum. You wouldn't expect to have that with an abortion because there's no child after, but my whole body, it was like a phantom pregnancy. I wanted to hold on, and my stomach looked so pregnant, but there was no baby in there. But I started therapy there, or based on that, and it's led to so many beautiful self-discoveries and healing. I finally feel, though, like I've switched my perception, and now I feel like I'm my biggest fan. I feel like being my biggest critic really was what was holding me back. And like, as soon as I started like actually understanding being I know it sounds corny, but being your own best friend and like really just reparenting and supporting and loving yourself, like genuinely, it feels like magic. Being my biggest fan is getting me where I want to be in life. I have a wonderful mom and I love her. She is my inspiration and I credit her for a lot. She's my biggest support, my #1 fan, for sure. I would love to have my pieces in galleries and connecting, expressing, and just honestly being full-time, like painting, like that's a dream. Shout out to my therapist, she's amazing. She's helped me see just so much in a short period of time, and that's really affected my art.